So yeah, how was I tested for autism? Because I don't know if it's the same test everywhere, but I guess it's pretty much the same. So yeah, at first I had to answer a lot of questions. Like I need sheet after sheet after sheet with questions, and all different kinds of things, of course, social behaviors, your interests, your emotions, also language, because I had to explain proverbs or metaphors, and then of course therapy. I talked to a therapist a lot. I talked to a specialist who is like the expert for autism here in the clinic in Freiburg. His name is Professor Thebats van Elst, and he has written a book about autism, and it's awesome. Saying, yeah. And then I had this. I guess this is like the official test for autism. And it's so stressful. Like, it was horrible. First of all, you have like this interview. So they ask you a lot of questions, and they are filming it. Like, you have this camera, and I don't know, for me it added like a lot to the stress factor. Then of course they were asking about childhood, about my development. They were asking about my interests, that special interest, if I had like a different perception, because it's a part of autism. It's like that you are very sensitive to light, noises, how things feel on your skin. Many autistic people don't really like to be touched, especially with light touches, and how things taste, how they feel in your mouth. And then of course they observe you, like if you're doing weird things, if you keep eye contact, and I'm really bad at keeping eye contact, because it makes me so nervous. And the problem is when I concentrate on keeping eye contact, I have a hard time on focusing what a person says. It's like I can't do one thing or the other, but not both at the same time. Yeah. And I think, like, how do people know? I always wonder, like, how do people know at which eye they have to focus? Because yeah, you have two eyes, and I never know on which of the person's eye I should focus, and it's so unnerving for me. Yeah. Okay, then yeah, if you have, like, many autistic people have what's called stimming, you have like repetitive type of behaviors, helps you calm down. Like for me, I do a lot of things with my fingers, like I do things like, or let me see, this is what I'm doing all the time. People keep on commenting how gross it is, but I can't stop because it calms me down. I don't even know why. Yeah, they also said that I do have different facial expressions, because some people with Asperger's tend to have less facial expressions. And yeah, I guess I do have different facial expressions, but I don't always use them correctly. Okay, sorry, I had to change locations because my roommate came and I don't want to be disturbed, you know? Okay, yeah, they basically use the same tests for adults with autism as they use for children, and you can tell by some of the tasks. So yeah, for example, there's one figure, and you have to put tiles on the figure, and there are two different color types, the red and blue. And I was freaking out, honestly, because I tried to color code it. I tried to make one line red and one line blue and alternate the colors, and I couldn't because it didn't work, and I was so stressed out. And then but later I asked what was the purpose of this test, and they told me it wasn't about the colors, it wasn't about the figure, it was just about asking for the tiles. They wanted to know if you could ask, how you would ask, if you keep eye contact, and this so funny. Okay, and then you had to tell the story from a book, a children's book. You had to describe what's happening. And this was so weird because it was a story about flying frogs. And then when I got the results, they said that I didn't describe the feelings of the protagonists. And I was like, it's about flying frogs. Why would I describe the feelings of flying frogs? And it doesn't make any sense to me, but yeah, it's in the test, so I guess it makes sense. And yeah, and then you had a box of random objects like a pen or a little shell, and then you have to make up a story using 3 or 4 of this object. And keep in mind that they film you. So I was like, oh my god, this will be on tape and people will watch it. It was so embarrassing. Yeah. And you have to pretend that you're brushing your teeth, and these are really seemingly random, weird tests. But they watch you the whole time, and they will notice everything. So yeah, and then there was this test for facial recognition of emotions. So you see pictures of faces, and you have to tell which of the basic emotions is expressed in the picture. So you have 10 seconds for each. And it's so stressful because you see the timer, you see it running out, and then I was like, oh my god. But yeah, I did quite good at this. I only had 4 mistakes, which seems to be normal. So because the expression of emotions makes sense to me, because you can watch the eyebrows, the eyes, the nose, mouth. So yeah, you can learn how to interpret a human emotion. But honestly, the worst part for me was the last test, and it was theory of mind. And honestly, this is what doesn't make any sense to me, because I have no idea how people do it. It basically means that you can guess or understand what people think, why people are acting the way they are acting, and why they are doing what they are doing. And I was just like, how am I supposed to know? How? I just don't understand. And then you have a video about 4 people, and it stops at several times, and every time it stops, you have to answer a question like, why is this person laughing right now? Why is this person making a compliment? What is he or she feeling? And I was just like, I don't know. How would I know? And yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so that was the hardest part, and this I felt like this video would go on forever. Oh, it was so bad. So yeah. So obviously my biggest problem seems to be theory of mind. That's what I'm really bad at. But honestly, with facial expressions, it's not like real life, because real life people normally don't look like or I don't know, they're more like, so yeah. It's much harder to recognize human emotion in real life. But yeah, I think that was my whole test. And then you have to wait, like I had to wait like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I got the results, and let's say, yeah, you are on the autism spectrum. And that's it. Okay, that's pretty much everything, all there is to it. Okay, one more thing, the question your parents. Because autism is something you're born with. And so even if your parents didn't notice that you had a different type of behavior, if they are asked about certain traits or certain signs, then an expert will know, oh, this child did this or that, and yeah, that's a sign of autism. So it's important because of course this you can't recall anything from your early childhood, so your parents will know best, and so if possible the doctors will talk to your parents and they will ask questions. Yeah, they also, what they did is they did an MRI, so I guess to see if the brain is okay, and they also did a lumbar puncture, so they pretty much they stick a needle into your spine, like down there, and they extract some of your liquor. It's not exactly pleasant, you know. It's okay, it hurts. They touched a nerve while they did this, and it was really painful, but I don't know, it lasts like 10 minutes, so it's okay. And yeah, I don't know if they even do it anywhere, because here they want to make really sure that you don't have any other disease that could cause your behavior, because for example, if you had a seizure in early life, it can cause autism, and I did have a fever-induced seizure as a child, so I don't know, maybe they wanted to see if my brain is okay. So yeah, I can only say that, you know, being diagnosed for me was a huge relief. Like, I finally understood what was going on with me and why I'm so constantly stressed out and anxious and like just freaking out because of overstimulation. And yeah, and for everyone who is thinking about diagnosis or who maybe has self-diagnosed, I know that many people are so negative when it comes to self-diagnosis, but sometimes your own feeling is like the most accurate and best feeling. So I can highly recommend, if you think you are on the autism spectrum, get diagnosed, because then you can get help like I do. You can get into a group, and yeah, it really helps a lot. So if you have been diagnosed with autism, yeah, maybe you can share your experiences, and I would be so happy to read from you, because you know you are autistic and you're awesome. So yeah, I hope you are doing great, and